Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Tony B. Joker today. Today, Joaquin Phoenix's full Joker look is revealed, and might I say, he looks very dashing. Also, some Chucky updates. I wonder what that devilish doll has been up to. And also, Train to Busan remake? One question, why? That only came out just like 2 weeks ago. What's going on, Hollywood? It just annoys me a lot. This is episode 45, and this is Horror Movie News.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. Don't you blame the movies.
Uh-oh. What? What's going on?
Why not?
What's happening?
Anthony.
Why?
Are you back?
Yeah.
What's up?
There's some guy sitting in your chair just
Yeah.
sitting there.
Just a
I don't
minute
know.
ago.
I just got
Yeah.
in. I was like, what's happening?
You're all, hey, what's up, everybody? That's what you're doing.
Hello, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that opening. I hope I didn't creep you out or anything. This is Horror Movie News. We are on episode 45.
What? We're
Yes, we are. we are old.
Yay.
And we are coming to you live here in North Hollywood, sunny California. My name is Anthony Becerra, and you can find me later.
What's up, everybody? Carrie Lane here, and I'm live in the chat. I see a couple people already joining us. Welcome. If you're watching it later, comment down
Oh,
below.
yeah. They're talking about the story. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I'm Ollie Drennan.
Right on. And today we have a jam-packed show, but first we're gonna get started with where to find us. So you can find us at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. Also catch us on the popcorntalknetwork.com official website, and everywhere on social media, Twitter and Instagram at Horror News PTN. Yes.
They really liked your intro.
I hope so. I went for it. And last but not least, podcatchers. I mean podcasts. Wherever you catch your pods.
It works.
You know, preferably on iTunes because they kind of originated everything. But anyways, I leave a 5-star rating on iTunes. Type in Horror Movie News. Look for this thumbnail behind me, and yeah, give us your feedback and whatnot. Please, we really appreciate it. Pretty much, the more reviews we have, the likely people are able to find us. So we would greatly appreciate it if our fans do your part and just rate the show. And if you have, then kudos to you. So let me just break down this show how we're gonna go about it. So pretty much we're gonna go into our news. Before that, I do have a little honorary mention. We did have a film in the box office. I would say it's softcore horror. We'll talk about that a bit. How it
Gateway
did.
drug.
Yeah, and it says it's like horror for kids. Also, we're gonna do our news releases of the week. What film is coming out this weekend, as well as the Abyss segment, and last but not least, our horror history. And then we're gonna end the show with some fan epitaphs. And also, I have the Mandy poster that I got when I went to go see Mandy.
Woo!
Yes, and it's a special a dish from the Frida, which is like the art house theater that's from my city, which I am very proud of. So I will be giving that away, but not just willy-nilly. Oh no, you're gonna have to jump through hoops with little kitties. So stay tuned for that and see. Listen closely as to what you will have to do in order to win. Yeah, there they are. In order to win this poster. So we'll touch on that at the end. We'll for sure touch on that. But first, let's get into it. So we did have a movie that opened up at the box office. I can kind of consider it horror. Honestly, did you guys see this movie?
No.
I didn't yet, but I really want to.
Okay, well first let's say the name of the movie. The House with a Clock in Its Walls. Say it slowly, otherwise you'll say something else. It's funny. Yeah. So I happen to see it. So I want to talk just about performance. It came out at number 1 in the box office. It made $26 million out of a $42 million budget, so I'm sure it's going to recuperate that. It's like more than halfway there already.
Probably a lot on video too, like families renting it, Redbox, and VOD and everything later as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, so definitely, I would say it's a win for horror at the box office. So
horror family's good too.
Yeah, there is one. Well, I'm gonna talk about it in the Abyss because that's what I'm gonna talk about. There's one scene that I really want to talk about, but
yes.
we'll stay tuned. So let's kick it off. So I'm ecstatic about this Joker movie, and
we can tell.
And I want to talk about it. I've never been this excited for a DC property since never. So
I was gonna say, yeah, right.
yeah. So
Like,
yeah, I'm pretty pumped about this. I wanna play the test screen, the screen test for like the makeup. We'll get into that. So it's so good though. The music that's behind it. The way how his clown mask flashes. Yeah. So here it is. The music just sets the tone for me. Oh, it's so good. Oh my god. I just love everything about this. I'm like gushing over this. Surprise. Yeah, this is so good. And then you finally get that transformation, yes. And then he got crooked teeth, and he's got the attitude with it. I'm all for it. I am loving it. So that was released about last Friday, and that like blew up the internet. And then afterwards, they've been releasing pictures, like multiple pictures, nonetheless. Mainly because they want to get ahead of the curve of like leaks and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think it's a
Just
very
gets people interested, anyways, too.
yeah, it's a very smart move on their part. So yeah, once we get those pictures up, that'd be great to go through them. But let's go over the cast for now. So this cast is pretty stacked. So we have Francis Conroy, Robert De Niro, Zazie Beetz, Mark Maron, and Brett Cullen. And I believe Brett Cullen is going to be playing Thomas Wayne, which is Bruce Wayne's father. And I don't know to what capacity he's going to be involved in the storyline, but I know Mark Maron is going to be a comedian. I'm guessing like the owner of the comedy club that he works at, and where he falls from grace, I guess. But yeah, let's look at these pictures.
Wow.
My God, like that picture,
The
right?
purple suit. The
Yeah,
fact that they actually
dude.
gave him the purple suit.
It's so
Is
sick.
that a green ascot I'm seeing?
Yeah.
I think
And
so.
there's
I'm
green
not
sleeve underneath.
Oh,
no,
the
regular.
shirt.
Oh, and his hair is like
It's colorful, and I'm here for it. That's what the Joker is.
Yeah,
He's colorful.
it's a little reminiscent of the Heath Ledger Joker
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that same like paint style it looks like. But I love that his left eye is like the you can go on to the next one. His left eye is like diamond shaped, and his other right eye is like is horizontal. One's vertical, and so I was like, that's so kooky and nice. I like it. I don't really see visible scars on his mouth or anything, which I'm totally okay with. Like, I don't really think he needs to have any scars. I don't even know if that's like part of his original like origin. If he had scars on his face.
There's a smile for you.
But yeah, oh look at that smile! It's a sinisterly like gaily smile. Where he's just like, yeah, I'm wrecking the town. And then I believe in some of the other pictures as well, we see like clowns in the background. Like if you can see like you can see some, maybe it's a little blurry, but yeah, this one's more clear. There's like clowns in the background. I'm guessing that's his posse. There's a sign up that says clown for mayor, I believe. And then I'm like, dang, this is I am dripping with yes. And I love that it's gonna be a $55 million budget. Like and they're touting it off as a mid-budget crime thriller than a superhero blockbuster. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so down for this direction. I like the direction they're going in. They also said it's supposed to be a darker and more experimental in tone and content. If you're questioning why are you covering this on horror movie news, well, buddy boy, I'll tell ya. Because the Joker's a horrific villain. Like, he's terrifying. And also, clowns are scary. Like, to this day. I'm not scared of clowns, and don't test that theory. But yeah, they can be terrifying. And just look at it.
That was in the documentary. That was one of the categories.
Killer clown.
Killer clowns. Yeah, so I just wanted to like share everyone with like my love for that screen test and how great it was, and like comment down in the live chat. Also, after the fact, if you're feeling up, how are you feeling about this film? I think this is going to be one of the most successful DC films out there, besides anything that's come out. And yeah, I have high hopes for this one. I gotta say
They should go dark, because that's how DC is better in their way to be, because they can go dark.
Yes.
It's like, just go.
Yeah, I mean,
embrace it.
Zack Snyder's films were touted as being dark and gritty.
I
They're not that dark.
There you go.
Visually, literally, yes.
No, I'd say like
Concept,
the Dark Knight is
no.
darker, but anyway.
Definitely. The fact that it's saying more experimental, I think that really alludes to the fact that they are going to go full force with it. To me, and to me, he looks like creepier than Pennywise, honestly.
And
with that makeup.
And personally, like, the more limited you are in resources, the more the more that breeds innovation, especially for like for directors that. Especially for like directors who aren't really used to big budgets, I think that's where they shine. I think smaller budgets are where really good stuff can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've said enough. I'm ready to move on. And
Let's wait for that rating. What are we gonna get? PG-13 or rated R?
Oh yeah, you were a
rated
little
R.
timid about it. That's right, right?
Well,
yeah.
Edgar Alves just commented, "Will it be PG-13?" So I'm wondering what they're gonna.
Oh,
do.
I could
Yeah.
see this being R easily, but we'll see. I mean, even PG-13, it could still be a fun ride, but I
Well, if they're
really
going
hope
more
they
the
don't.
crime thriller, then they can maybe pull it off.
I really
Rugged,
hope they don't do PG-13, but
Rugged English in the chat says, "I want all the madness."
yes, yes. Also, what's up, everybody in the chat? Welcome.
And
Welcome.
Media Shock says,
great to have you.
I couldn't care what plastic DC fanboys are saying. Try stopping me to see this Joker.
Yeah, I'm so down. I don't know why any DC fan wouldn't be psyched for this. It looks so. I mean, I'm like I've seen the trailer. It looks so good, guys. No, I'm just the feeling I get from this film is great. So, and it's something I rarely feel. Like this is what I felt for like Hereditary when it was coming out. Yeah, so it's like that kind of feeling, you know.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Yeah, seeing it in motion makes me feel a lot better, and
Yeah.
just knowing that the cast is going to be really strong. Francis Conroy, Robert De Niro, Zazie Beetz, and obviously Joaquin. I think feeling a lot better about it.
Right on. All right, take it away, Child's Play.
Oh,
Hey.
Child's Play. Yes, we mentioned this previously that we are getting a Child's Play remake. And we got the first look, finally.
Yes.
Of the iconic doll. So there it is. Yeah. What y'all think about that?
It's like a different kind of plastic, like almost like
Yeah.
a porcelain
I
doll.
was about to say porcelain. It looks very
But
proper.
that's cool and creepy in its own way.
Yeah.
And come to find out, Aubrey Plaza is actually going to be the...
Yes,
I love her.
That's
I
what we're all
love
like,
me some
yes.
Aubrey Plaza. Like, she did... But, I want...
Killed it in Legion.
This is, more serious... she's done
Well,
serious
Legion.
roles. Well... This is like a horror film, she's
Yeah.
the mom of this child who has this psychotic killer. She's
Yeah,
very
no,
dry.
no,
She's
yeah.
a dry
Yeah.
actor that she's literally who she plays, and I love her for it. But she's gonna be the mom. We have Brian Tyree Henry.
Paper boy, come and get your paper boy.
We also have
From
Gabriel. Who?
Sorry,
I don't watch Atlanta.
That's why, yeah. Brian
get the
Tyree Henry is from Atlanta. He's also voicing the father for Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
That's his voice.
We got Gabriel Bateman as our new Andy Barclay.
He has a great look to him as like the kid who is gonna potentially be killed.
Oh yeah, we said the robot doll. That
Yeah.
He has like
Yeah.
a cowering look. No, yeah.
Sky Patterson in the chat says, I am not excited about Child's Play reboot. I absolutely love the talent involved, but I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I like Aubrey and I like Brian Henry, but am I excited for this? Not really.
I want to see it. I want to see the trailer. The
Well,
teaser.
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it nonetheless, but
I want to see Aubrey Plaza just scream, and run, But the official plot synopsis.
Here we go.
Here we go. Child's Play follows a mother, Plaza, who gives her son, Bateman, a toy doll for his birthday, unaware of its more sinister nature.
Mwahaha.
And we talked about it being not
Robot
so much
doll, that's right.
robotic, like artificial intelligence, as opposed to the original, like a psychotic killer being transported into the doll. Early plot details refer to the new Chucky as the robot doll, reportedly a doll that gets hacked. So he's going to be hacked. And I'm wondering, why is this particular doll going to be hacked? Are there more killer dolls?
But wasn't
know.
wasn't it like a Chinese? Remember we read it
Yeah.
was like the Chinese worker
Overseas.
hacks it before he died. He ends up committing suicide. Yeah,
Yes.
damn, that's great. I was wondering, what if Chucky himself learns how to hack more Chuckies and there's like an
Yeah.
army of Chuckies?
Make a little army.
Child's Play
I mean,
army.
He has a family.
Yeah, later.
At some later on.
We'll see.
Sort of.
Yeah.
And
Shit face.
David Katzenberg and Seth Graham Smith from It are producing it. So
Ooh, they have a good eye.
it'll
Yeah.
be really interesting.
All right.
Any other thoughts about this?
I'm not like super psyched about it. I'm kind of like I'm like
I think we're all
timid.
like behind the wall, like curious, like.
I haven't caught like the recent
Not
Chucky
running
films.
it.
I really like the first one. Growing up as a kid, they terrified me. Like I did not want to see any Chucky films. Like I was horrified from Chucky. But yeah, I'll wait and see on this one. I'm not. It's not
gonna be rushing,
I guess
but
it's because it's not
maybe.
really super like. I don't know, original for me.
Yeah.
I like the new take though, so that's kind of what interests me. Also, the actors is what interests me. So if anything, I'd go for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing this for sure.
If it's a hard R too, like I want to see some creative
Death.
kills.
Then I get
yeah.
excited. Yeah.
Like what if Chucky can hack into other things, into other technology?
Yeah.
You know,
That could be good and creepy.
You can just
Because we use technology for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Who knows? Who knows how smart this
Yes.
Chucky kid is?
Aw. It also makes me kind of sad. The off subject. It also makes me sad about how technology kind of dampens horror a little bit, if you think about it. That's another conversation.
Right.
But I was watching for my Abyss this week. I was watching Halloween, and I thought oh my god, this is so scary because there's no technology present.
Can't call somebody
Yeah.
on your cell phone.
1978, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's also a small town.
That's another story or another topic. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, that's a great
But
topic.
I will still see this for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I need to. I eventually want to watch all Chucky films just because he's so iconic. Carrie, take it away.
Continuing the Jack Black news, the new Goosebumps movie is coming out October 12th, and I don't know, I was excited for it because I'm like, oh, I like the first one. I didn't think Jack Black was actually in it. But then it's oh, he is going to be in it as R.L. Stein. I'm like, wait, it's coming out in a few weeks, and how did we not know this? So I feel that's an interesting, either they kept it under wraps, or it's weird they didn't push it.
Well, I believe I read an article that said it was revealed in a TV spot, and we actually have that TV spot if Steve wants to roll it for us. So yeah, they just played this, and then it's hey, by the way, Jack's in it. And we're I was what? Yeah. I'm pretty excited for this. I like little.
The first one was so fun.
Yeah, the first one was fun, and yeah.
And the critters and monsters are all cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this
It's
looks funny.
cheeky.
Look. And they're
Yeah.
killer
Can't
gummy
you just
bears.
eat them?
That's what I was thinking about.
Right?
Eat them
I don't know.
before they
They'll give
eat
you
you.
upset stomach and make you kill
Dude,
you from the inside.
They
I don't know.
freak out. Oh my god, that's terrifying.
I grew up reading Goosebumps books too, so I was excited for this one. And then also that ties into the fact too that R.L. Stein is coming out with 6 more Goosebumps books, which I'm curious about. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I did like this though as an author because it's kind of cool that you wrote these books in the 90s, and now there's movies today, which is similar to Clock in the Walls. Well, I was like the whole one. Short, abbreviating. So Stein dropped the news talking about his new book, said, I don't think authors retire. So I think when asked about his prolific career potentially coming to an end at some point, he says, quote, I think of Robert B. Parker, who just dropped dead on the keyboard. I think that's the way to go. Anyway, I just signed on to do 6 more Goosebumps books. And then Stein also joked, maybe some of them will be posthumous. There we go. I don't know. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of dark and funny. So anyway, yay for Goosebumps 2 coming out October 12th.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because I liked the first one. It was super fun.
Yeah, it was
When
really
was
fun.
that released? Was that just released?
That was just on TV. I don't know. I saw it over the weekend, I believe, and I was just like, "Oh, he is in the movie." I'm guessing he's gonna come out towards the very end or something.
Yeah.
Maybe the last 15, 12, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
He might come on and be like, "I'm here to save you," or
Well, 'cause
I'm
it's a
gonna help
different
you guys
family,
out. Yeah.
which is totally fine because none of the Goosebumps, as I recall, they're not really super connected. It's always a new family and everything, and maybe there's some overlap, but not
Right.
really. A lot of people in the chat are like, "Oh, that went under the radar." Same. I
Right,
knew it
yeah.
was kind of coming out,
Yeah.
and then I didn't know Jack Black was in it. It's like, guys, you should have led with that.
Yeah.
But maybe he's in it a little bit, like you said, so maybe they weren't like, hey. Westy Kid says the puppet, yep, Slappy, steals the show. And then Sky Patterson says, I might go see the sequel. Media Shop says, grabs popcorn. I'm up for a good popcorn flick. Yeah, this is a popcorn
for
flick.
sure.
Just fun.
Also, the kid from It, Jeremy Ray Taylor, is in it, and I want to see more of his acting chops before It comes out as well.
Yeah.
I thought he was a really great. A great character in It, because he had some nuances about how he's crushing on the girl, but he can't tell her. So I thought it was very cute.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see him in a movie. And yeah, I can't wait to I'm for this one.
Rugged
I saw
English.
House with the Clock in its Walls. I'll see Goosebumps too.
Rugged English says in the chat, I just watched the first Goosebumps over the weekend. I'm intrigued. So
Yeah, it's fun stuff. It's
And
fun.
they're on Netflix, like the series. I love the TV series.
Oh, that's
So
right.
you
That
should
was
watch
fun
the
too.
series,
Yeah.
watch the series, and then like watch the movie and see all like
And
if
it's
there's any references from the books and the series.
Yeah, it's perfect time
yeah.
because in my memory of reading the books too, they're all set in like the fall and someone moving to a new town. So I'm like, ooh, it's October time, and I know we're in September,
Yeah,
but
they're
still,
fun stuff. I want to
Yeah.
start reading them again. All right.
they're fun to read now. Really quick read.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. This is a quick little bit from me. So I thought this was interesting. So Lionsgate, they used to be on top in the horror game. They brought us Saw and the Hostel franchises. They gave us My Bloody Valentine 3D, which I'm not. Have you guys seen
It was
that?
fun.
Yeah. Okay. I
I didn't see
seen
it 3D, but it has Dean from Supernatural. So
Right on. Jason
Yeah.
Eccles, or I don't know their names. Anyways, but yeah. So
It's
also they
Dean.
brought us the. Oh, okay.
he's
it's
only
Dean.
one person. It's Dean.
They also brought us The Descent, which I loved. Sinister, which was creepy. My God. And one of my favorites, The Cabin in the Woods, which I thought was great. So they definitely dominated it with like the early 2000s or so.
Yeah, they
They
did.
definitely started the torture porn genre, or like they helped ignite that fire.
Yeah.
But now it's Blumhouse that's on top, with its, I would say Blumhouse is mainstream horror. And I would like to personally also say A24 is kind of like on top, but I would say it's more like the art house horror for A24. And Blumhouse is more accessible horror.
Yeah.
A24, you'd be like, what was that about? Like, it comes at night. A lot of people were just like, I don't know how I feel about this. But it also
Yeah.
brought us Hereditary, which I love.
Yeah.
And that was polarizing, which I also love. And they also brought us, I believe it was... Yeah, I want to say it was what's that? The Quiet Place was, I believe, was it A24? No, I might be wrong on that one. Sorry about that. Chat, feel free to
Chat, let
correct
us
me.
know.
I'm sorry. But yeah, so I love that. But yeah, so Lionsgate seems to be falling behind in the horror game.
Yep.
And Lionsgate Vice Chairman Michael Burns said at a recent Goldman Sachs Communicopia conference, said that we used to own horror. We're going to own it again. That's a bold statement coming from you, Mr. Burns.
Chat pointing out, Media Shock says Legendary. Legendary did a lot of horror
Right.
films too, and I feel not as much.
Where they at? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says this. It's a bold statement. And I want to look at like further down the line the pipeline for them. The most recent one is Hellfest, which is being released this Friday. We'll get into that a little bit more in our release dates. But yeah, it's Hellfest. It's the only one coming out this weekend. And
By the way, Quiet Place was Paramount Pictures.
got it. Okay, so I was wrong. That's fine. I'm not gonna cry at night.
You can cry a little. It's okay.
One tear, that's it. Further down the line, they have this film called The Cobweb, which is about a kid who hears voices in the walls. And then his parents are like, no, you're fine. It's cool. There's nothing there. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go look for them and bring them out. And so just the premise alone
That
sounds
kind of
creepy.
cool. That's intriguing.
Yeah, right?
like,
The next one is The Bride, which I don't know much about. There's not too much there. And Hellboy, which is a remake with Dave Harbour, which is the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was
who is
definitely
gonna be-
not excited about the idea of remaking because it's another one like, why?
Yeah.
But I do like him, so I'm kind of like, all right, you've kind of won me over that I'll check it out.
I think he'd be a great.
He's great, yeah.
A great Hellboy. So yeah, that's that. Leave your thoughts on this. It's a bold statement. Honestly, if now's the time for competition within the horror genre, like now's the time. Pretty much, like it's everyone's welcoming it. People love horror nowadays, it's good, fun stuff. So I'm all for it. I said if you want to try to take out Blumhouse, go right ahead. Let's see what you got. Don't bring back any torture porn though. That's all I'll say.
I agree.
No hostile.
But Hostel's okay because they get the revenge at the end.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
And if you haven't seen it yet, that's totally not spoilers. Because come on, it's been out for a very long time. I'm okay with those where like bad things happen, horrible things happen, but
Right.
they're able to get the revenge. Because if they don't, then it's just very unsatisfying.
Okay.
Because we covered that movie. I'm like, oh, what's the one with the girl in the outback kind of area?
Revenge.
Revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Like that one.
That was good.
That one's also torture porn essentially, but her
I'll
getting
say
the
it's
revenge at the end.
It's a revenge, rape revenge film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
like
it's still,
I think that's a subgenre.
It's overlap. There we go. Venn diagram. There we go. They overlap a little bit.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'll give you that. All
He's
right.
a diagram.
Right on. So yeah. So that's that.
Twisted Pictures. Do we Rugged English goes Twisted Pictures? Do they rank among the top horror makers? They did. Remember, it was a logo where it's like a big
wire?
nail spike and barbed wire, and it would twist, and it was like Twisted Pictures.
Where's that from?
They're like a production company, I think,
okay.
too. That was before the beginning of movies, too. I totally remember that logo.
I'm not sure.
We have
I
some
was like-
homework to do.
I was like, what? Okay.
Good one. Yeah, Media Shock also said, yeah, Twisted Pictures most definitely. Yeah, they haven't done much lately, but that's a very specific logo that I'm like, I remember that.
I think it's starting to come back to me. But yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that one as well. Moving on, Ollie, you've got some walking things.
Yeah, some really walking news. So all you Walking Dead fans, I loved The Walking Dead. Now not so much. I'm so behind, and like I feel
am I.
I feel like it's kind of coming to an end, especially with this kind of news coming up. So apparently, there's a report by Bloomberg saying that there's going to be some Walking Dead films. Walking Dead films. This is weird because Walking Dead, it's a series. And it's so funny because it's so popular as like comics and even the TV show. It's still on. I don't know for how long, but this has been a rumor for many years. But the report says AMC's, which owns the popular zombie apocalypse series, plans to produce multiple movies and new TV shows based on the graphic novels that spawn the series, according to people familiar with the plans. AMC has talked to several large media companies about partnering on the projects, which collectively could cost several $100 million, said the people, who asked not to be identified because the plans are still being worked out. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about... Do you want The Walking Dead to like end, or like what do you think about this?
Put it out of its misery, for God's sake. I am
Double tap.
double tap. Honestly, personally, for me, it died for me a long time ago.
Were you like a fan of it though?
I was
At the beginning.
Yeah.
So was I.
Like everyone else. I was like really into the comics.
Yep.
I was
Same.
really into the comics, and then I fell off the comics, and I started watching the show. I fell off the show, and then I'm baffled as to how it's still going on.
Yeah.
And personally, this I think this feels like a Hail Mary. Like I was like, the show's dying. It feels like they're in denial of the show dying, and they're doing like a Hail Mary, like, hey, we're gonna do movies and more TV shows, and then it feels like, what do you say about that? Kind of like they're gauging their audience, and I'm not for it. I don't really care for The Walking Dead. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, how can you make this genre that's been literally beat to death and it's come back over? Like,
It's just like a zombie.
Exactly. Like, how do you
And
make
the
this?
games, too.
How do you?
So it's not like they're...
The games were good. The Telltale games.
That
apparently
company
not
has,
that
like,
good.
died.
Yeah, it's
Which is
going
sad.
under.
It's very
yeah.
sad. But does that mean we can still play the game?
No, you can still play.
And there are more Walking Dead games being made.
Yeah. So no, or
I
anyways.
feel it's a take it or leave it, like, cool if they make it, but I'm so far behind that unless it's like a whole new thing and just setting that, like, that could be where they have potential, is like just do new things in that universe but totally different people.
There's just it's just like a huge.
I think people are gonna be like overwhelmed, like, oh, there's more.
Yeah, and
You're like, I'm all for it.
It's me being a fan of it and just seeing how much it's grown and expanded. Yet there's just like so much. Like, there's other shows I want to watch, y'all. Like, I don't know about this, but like I feel like with The Walking Dead, it's just like it's a good example of like something that the comics like don't translate well to like live action, or like
They could have gone darker and they didn't. That's where I started falling off, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that part was so big.
Yeah,
and I'm like, did you read it? It was even crazier.
And you're not limited like with a comic, whereas like cable television, you have all those restrictions. You can't say. They give like a couple F-bombs now. I don't know. It just doesn't.
They killed Carl.
They did. It's
like,
weird.
what?
Well,
it's really
What?
weird.
There's darker
Anyways,
stuff,
whatever.
but yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But
Anywho.
that's my take on all that. But yeah.
It's interesting.
Lukewarm.
News.
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk
Yeah.
about it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's less than my Chucky level. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that much. that was my lowest. Now it's lower than that.
Chat, let us know in the comments. Chat.
Yeah,
what
if
do you
you're
think
here
about
for
that?
them Walking Deads.
Edgar Alf says, I stopped watching Walking Dead a long time ago.
Yeah, see.
Yeah,
All right,
same.
real quick, let's get into this next
Yes.
bit of news.
So if you guys have not seen it yet, you should go check it out. Train to Busan is getting a remake. It's
Fantastic film.
It's a really good zombie one. Definitely pull your emotions and zombies on a train.
Emotion,
not on a plane, but on a train.
Like sad, yeah. You'll tug at your heartstrings. It will scare you.
There are some good scares, and definitely one of those like you're
It'll
sitting there
thrill
like
you.
run,
Yeah,
run faster.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's gonna have with Yeon Sang-ho working on a sequel to his 2016. So it only came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Hit Train to Busan. We've learned that there's gonna be an English language remake in the works, and I'm like, come on, just read the subtitles, people. So as reported by Deadline, James Wan will be producing the remake with Gary Dauberman of It and The Nun writing the script. So maybe. The site details, I'm hearing that 5 bidders are circling or have made some bids, and the rights package will sell this week for 7-figure sum. New Line Universal, which just stepped up, Paramount, Lionsgate, and Screen Gems are all in the mix. So it's a really great horror film set in South Korea. So the quick synopsis is, while a zombie virus breaks out in South Korea, passengers struggle to survive on a train from Seoul to Busan. No director is attached yet. I'm only concerned because we have trains here in the U.S., but like it's not, and it's a much bigger thing in other countries.
Get an American family and stick them in Busan.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
Like Travelers,
I don't even want an American family. Why can't we have, South Koreans?
I don't know. That's how I thought Americanizing.
Is this film going to be like not trained? It's going to be called
not
something
sure.
different, like Train to Brooklyn or something.
I don't know.
That's what I mean. If they said it here
Train
in the
to
U.S.,
Coney
we
Island.
don't. We have to. Yes, there's the Amtrak. Yes, there's trains, but like this one
They're
is
not like long.
We
The
normally
red
would
line.
drive in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
just
and
like
then-
zombies in traffic.
It's more like a road trip to Busan.
yeah. See, we're more road trip here. I don't know. I'm not terribly excited, but
Don't think.
I'm curious, and I just feel it's lazy when like, oh, let's make an English remake. It's like,
I don't think it's necessary. Isn't
That
even
too.
It's not necessary.
even
Not
the-
necessary.
does
But
it-
it's Hollywood.
But does
Yes.
the original film even have like an English audio? I'm pretty sure they did that with the host.
I would
I don't
imagine.
know, but probably.
I think they
Yeah.
Also, there's an animated prequel
Yes.
to it on Shudder.
So all around, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
really excited for this, but I get it because it's Hollywood
Yeah.
and also James Wan. And I personally did not like to. I didn't really think The Nun had the greatest writing, so that's also like,
Oh no, it didn't.
So it's
Yeah.
like it's really rough on this one.
Yeah.
So
And yes, media shock. People should appreciate the original. Agree.
So we'll see how this goes.
The original came out 2 years ago. It doesn't need
Yes.
a remake right now.
So we actually tweeted about this, and I replied that this is pointless. And Sky replied to me, and he had a good call. He brought me to my senses. I was like, yeah, he's right. He goes, Sky Patterson. He goes, it's called Hollywood, and they love money and a cool idea. So why not make a remake of Train to Busan? You know how this works and who this goes. You do have the right to not go see the film. I'm not. That's what he's saying. He's not gonna see
Yeah.
it. I like the original, but I'm not interested in zombie films anymore. And personally, I don't think America I'm over zombies. Once the zombie boom came about, I got over zombies. I'm like a weird
they
zombie
do a
hipster.
couple new things
Yeah.
in the movie though that they change up. Not like revolutionary changes, but there's some things in it that you're like, ooh, that was a nice approach.
Right. Yeah.
We liked zombies when zombies weren't cool. Like Resident Evil, I grew
Yeah.
up on that. PS2.
Yeah.
So
Not calling
see.
myself a purist, but
we'll see.
I still do want to see The Night Eats the World or whatever, the French film that's a recent zombie film. Yeah, it's more existential take on it. Like, what do you do when you got your living situation settled, but like you're just bored surviving the zombie apocalypse? Sounds interesting. Okay. Also, this time I just want to give you a quick shout out to our fans out there. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being in the live chat. Really appreciate it. If you guys could give us again those thumbs up and everything, all that good stuff, we'd really appreciate it. And now let's go into our release for the week. So pretty much we only have one film that's being released in theaters and really VOD. There's some films in VOD, but they did not really tickle me in the right way. So I think Hellfest is the one to go to, because I usually can only watch one movie, one film a weekend. So I just try to watch one. Hellfest is definitely the one I got my crosshairs on. And yeah, and I actually met the director at Scare LA, and I would like to have him on the show, but I like cold tweeted him through, so hopefully we'll get him on. If not, it's okay. He was actually also the editor for Get Out, which I thought was interesting.
Nice.
Yes. So we are now gonna hit the abyss. It's pretty much the segment where we talk about movies that we have seen. We have to keep this very short because we are running out of time, and I really want to get into this horror history. So I'll go first. I'll be very brief with this. I saw The House with the Clock in Its Wall. It's fun. It's a kids movie. Overall, I guess I'll compare it to Goosebumps. I like Goosebumps slightly more than A Clock on Its Walls. But I did like the actors. Cate Blanchett and Jack Black were phenomenal in it, as well as the kid. There was this very, very disturbing scene of the Jack Black baby head. My God, that is ridiculous. And they made it with practical effects, like the baby's practical, but the head CGI. But it looks so good.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is happening? Like it was very distraught. Like I was very distraught afterwards.
Okay.
So if anything, go watch it for that scene, and you'll be like, yeah, that was some fudged up. Like this is a kids movie. Like it's so weird. And then he pees. Anyways, that's me.
Okay.
On to the next.
I saw a new one that's in theaters, Assassination Nation.
Dude, I want to watch that one.
I
but-
saw that. I saw a 10 p.m. show. My theater had another couple who left, and then one guy who like would get up and leave. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Okay, stay on target.
This theater,
Overall
in
thoughts?
terms of people got up and left, it is wild. Like literally when I walked out, texted him, I was like, it's wild.
It's polarizing too, I've heard.
It takes a while for the violence. So if you're going for like the violence, it takes a long time to actually get to that.
Okay.
But that's okay because it's building up this world and these people. So the idea is, if you've never heard about this movie, if Salem was modern set today, which I think some people don't get that. I'm like, it's the Salem witch trials. Like those really happened. So same idea.
Virtual age.
Yes. So a very prominent figure in town gets hacked and all their information gets spread, and then other people's information starts spreading, and then people start freaking out and blaming, like, who's the person doing it? And then the main girls, like, they're the targets of a lot of that attention. I thought they were fun. It's super, like, girl power and just real talk. Like, when they're talking, it felt like real conversations. I'm like, yeah, totally.
Overall thought, what?
I definitely thumbs up. And the more I've talked about it after, I'm like, oh, I really did like it.
It's one of that you have to. It sounds like you have to really like let it simmer for a couple of days, and
so.
you'll be like, you'll still think about it, and you'll find more appreciation for it. That's
Like
awesome.
right after, you're just like, whoa, that was crazy. And
That's
then
so
after,
cool.
you're just like, okay, no, really, you should go see it.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I do want to watch this.
I know you guys are gonna love it.
Okay,
Movie
Ollie?
Pass. Oh, I mentioned it earlier. I rewatched Halloween. John
Oh, that's
Carpenter's
right,
Halloween.
yes.
Yeah.
So freaking good. It makes me so excited for Halloween next month.
Yes.
Please, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. Like, I really wish I was alive for the time when it was released
I
to
know.
see
I would have
how
blown my socks off.
the actual, like, how frightening it would have been for me at that time period, and just technology. I love you,
That-
technology, but you ruined
It's a different
That
world.
POV shot, like what you know, the opening shot though is
Yes.
so good. Like that's like my favorite part when they take off the mask and then the camera zooms out slowly. Oh, fantastic!
So just go see it, and I'm really excited to see the new one and seeing like the references from the John Carpenter's. So
Right on.
go see it.
Okay, now we're going into our horror history segment. So pretty much this is a segment where I talk about history of I talk about a film that kind of influenced horror history and like a film that's prominent in that, like it's good to watch, you know. And I talk about, like, I give you some facts, a bit of the context of it, and then some personal highlights of mine. And I try to do it within 3 minutes, so excuse me if I talk too fast. I'll try to breathe and be as clear as possible. And Steve, when you're ready. 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Okay, so the movie today is Freaks from 1932. It was directed by Todd Browning, who also directed Dracula of 1931 with Bela Lugosi. He was on the cusp of being like, boom, he's booming. He was a super successful Dracula, so he went on to make this film. Stars Olga Baklanova, who plays Cleopatra, Henry Victor, who plays Hercules, and Harry Earls, who plays Hans, who happens to be a little person. A circus beautiful trapeze artist agrees to marry the leader of sideshow performance, who is Hans, but his deformed friends discover she is only marrying him for his inheritance. Why this film is important? So the original reception of the film was infamous. This was by MGM. The film doesn't hold back on its portrayal of disabilities and deformities, it's very like, oh my god, it could be shocking for people who aren't ready for it. MGM quickly disowned the film, and it fell into obscurity for 40 years. And after this, also, Todd Browning could not get like another break with film. Like, he was kind of like shunned a bit, and so he couldn't continue making more films of this like, so he had to do other stuff. The realism of the film in front and behind the scenes. So Browning used to work in circuses and actually called upon his real life sideshow performers from his past to star in the film. That's why it feels so real, because everything you see is real. There's no like effects really until the very end. So yeah, we see dwarves, bearded lady, women with no arms, a man with only his upper torso and arms, and his name is Johnny Eck, which is like one of the most iconic, as well as some Siamese twins and the pinhead named Schlitzie and her family. But also behind the scenes, the cast was made to eat on picnic tables away from the rest of the MGM workforce because of how, you know, unsettling their looks, you know, what they look for like, and it's a direct mirror to the isolation suffered by the characters they were playing in real life. Some subtext. It's that of a group of people banding together against a society that only wants to deride and reject them. Also, for 3/4 of the movie, we are made to empathize with the freaks and to pity them and to hate the people that laugh at them. But then the last scenes of the film flip this on its head. When they start to turn on those that have shamed them is when the real terror starts and the inhumanity of the freaks come out. Personal highlights of mine: the climax of the film still holds up to this day, when they are exacting their revenge on Cleopatra and Hercules, and they are silently slithering through the mud and the rain. They are lit up by the lightning storm, and revealing that they have knives and shivs slowly coming towards their victim is so terrifying to me. And I think we got it. So the ending to how they leave Cleopatra deformed, covered in feathers, mutilated to look like chicken feet, vocal cords wrecked, only to squawk their messages, and the message is clear. If Cleopatra saw them not as humans but as animals, then the ultimate revenge would be to make her one of them. And that ending is terrifying. She is finally and truly accepted as one of them, or one of us. One of us. Google gobble, we accept her. One of us. Google gobble, we accept her. One of us. Terrifying, truly terrifying stuff. So yeah, everything you see now is like it's all real, and that's Cleopatra, the main antagonist, and that's Hercules, like her like henchman in a sense, and that's like the freaks accepting her, and they're all drinking out of this chalice and everything, and they make her try to drink out of it, and she's like no, and she's being really rude and everything. But yeah, so that's our show. I mean, that's horror history. My God, sorry, it was a tight one, this one. But next week's film is a 1932 film called Vampire. It's spelled Vampyr. It is a German-French film. If you're subscribers to Filmstruck, you can find it for free on that. But it's literally $2 to rent anywhere else online on VOD. And yeah, so one last thing before we go, the giveaway. So pretty much for this giveaway, what I want you to do is either comment down below or hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at Horror News PTN, or comment on the YouTube comments after the fact. Once you're able to comment, number one question you have to answer: what was our first special guest on this show that we had? What was our very first guest that we had on this show? And the second question: so that second question, what film does this phrase originate? What film does this phrase originate? And the phrase is, "You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?" Where is that phrase from? So again, it's "You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?" Where's that? What movie is that from? And also, what was our very first special guest on this show? And you will get this awesome Mandy poster. I will ship it to you personally, and you will have a cool poster to hang up on your wall. So yeah. And that's our show. We have to wrap. I know we're cutting a little late. I'm so sorry. But you can find me everywhere at Tony B. Tony. Wait. Yes, sorry. Oh my God. You can find me, Anthony Becerra, at Tony B. Tony _ TONY, letter B, TONY _ Carrie.
Yes, you can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE.
Hey guys, I'm Ollie Drennan. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
And Tony B. Joker here. Thank you to all the people in the chat. Oh, I really appreciate. I can't really get into it. I really appreciated you guys being here, enjoying the time with us. And this has been another edition of Horror Movie News.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.